Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and the game we're going to talk about today is Kung Fu! Wah! So I remember, even before I got my NES, I was over at my cousin's house, and he borrowed over 40 games from his friend, and that's how I got to play a lot of the NES games before I even bought them, and one of those games was Kung Fu! Wah! So I remember playing that and thinking, wow, this is so cool! I'm like the Karate Kid, man! Although there was a Karate Kid game totally based on this, and it was terrible. Go watch the Angry Video Game Nerd video on that. So I remember getting as far as the third level where you have to fight the big black boss, and then he just kicked my ass. I didn't really know how to beat him. So I confess I didn't really revisit this game until like the year 2000 when I started downloading games on emulators, and I revisited the game with save states, and then I was able to beat it from there. Then around 2006 I actually found a complete-in-the-box version of Kung Fu at a Mon Pa game shop that I bought for 10 bucks, and you know what? I kept playing it and it was awesome. Yeah, so Kung Fu isn't exactly a super difficult game once you get the patterns down. I mean, the entire game is incredibly patterned, and once you know what to do, it's very easy to beat the game multiple times. I mean, I would actually beat the game like 5 times in a row before I got sick of it. So I remember the reason why I had a lot of difficulty with this game was because I kept trying to rely on the kick, because the kick had a lot more range to it. I was like, you know, what's the point of using the punch? Well, I figured out the hard way. A lot of bosses, especially the 3rd level boss, which is the big black guy, and the 4th level boss, which is, you know, Igor, the gremlin guy, they fall faster with the punches. And also, by the time you get the 2nd level up, there's a lot more obstacles, which definitely makes it a lot harder. I remember as a kid having a lot of difficulty with those. Yeah, I especially remember the most difficult for me was the 4th stage when I first got to it. I mean, there's like shit just flying everywhere. There's like bugs coming out of the walls, and then there's dragons like shooting fire at you. And yeah, this game is not really an easy game to just rush through it. You have to know the patterns, and you have to know when to duck, you have to know when to jump, especially when the snakes fall down on the floor. Oh yeah, then let's not forget those little midgets that fucking jump over you. Like, you're trying to kick them and they just pop on your head. I'm like, shit, man. Yeah, so I remember when I got to the end and fought Mr. X, I actually lost the first time because I tried to beat him with punches, but there's an easy method. You can just beat him like you do with most enemies, just, you know, low kick him till he dies, even though he blocks most of your moves. So yeah, Kung Fu for the NES, it was one of the first NES games. It actually wasn't made by Nintendo, it was made by IREM, who made, you know, Kickle Cubicle, and the game was originally called Spartan-X in Japan, and there is a Spartan-X sequel, which we usually call Kung Fu 2, where you're actually, you know, fighting on trains and military stuff. It's actually pretty cool, you should try it out. So unfortunately, Kung Fu was never released on the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console or the 3DS Virtual Console, mostly because the game was made by IREM, and I have no idea what happened to IREM. And even though classic gaming is still pretty expensive, it's not too expensive to get Kung Fu on the NES. So that wraps up this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories about Kung Fu! And if you have any memories about this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. Take care.
Hey, did you like what you see? Then come check us out at twitch.tv/BattleGeek+.